Well, hello, welcome to Module 11. As we get going, all of our notes will be in our notebook. Feel free that over in my side drawer, I do have some lined graph paper for these graphs. If you would like to use some, you are more than welcome to help yourself so that your assignments have nice, neat, clean lines when you make your bar and line graphs. All right, so 11.1 here today. Like I said, we're going to look at bar and line graphs. Our objective is two things. Students will create a bar and line graph, and then we'll also make predictions based on the data given in the line graph. So we have two parts, two things that we're going to look at today to find out what does our data look like. So how do we create and use the data to create our graphs, and then how do we make predictions to answer questions about what could happen or what will happen, or based on the data, what's the trend right now. So make sure you have this objective written down. Remember that through the video, please feel free to pause, rewind. Don't fast forward or mute though. You want to make sure that you hear all the tips. And especially Module 11, there's going to be a lot of slides in the next few days that I'm going to say don't write this down. So if you're not listening to me, you're going to be doing a lot of extra work compared to everybody else. So make sure you are listening and that you are following what I want you to write down so that you have the right information. All right, so what do you need to write down on this slide? Right here, the only thing you need to write down is our vocabulary words. You do not, I repeat, you do not need to write the graphs down. So what is a double bar graph? Well, a double bar graph is used to display and compare two sets of data. So as you notice in the example below, here we have the books read by boys and girls in the 8th grade. So we have the number of books read. We have the number of boys in 8th grade that read that amount of books, and then the number of girls that read that amount of books in 1 month. Okay, so from this information, we are now going to make a double bar graph. We are comparing two sets of data, the number of books the boys read and the number of books the girls read. Okay, so when we make one, over here, this is what we are going to create today, what you are going to create for your homework, and as we do another example. We're going to make up our X and Y axis here, just like normal, okay? And we always put a title on our graph here. Down the left-hand side here in our y-axis, these are the frequencies, which are the heights of the bar graph. So how tall are we going? And to find that frequency, we're going to use the information up here of how many books were read, right? And so our frequency is did they read 2 books, 3 books, 1 book, 0 books? How high should our bar graph go? And then the number of books read by the boys and the girls. You notice that I have 2 colors. So as you make a double bar graph today, you are welcome to use highlighters, pens, any of my markers or colored pencils to make sure that you have the 2 colored items there to compare the 2 data sets. Over on the right side, we have a key. All graphs have a key here. We have the light blue is going to be the boys, and the dark blue is going to be the girls. All right, then you are going to go ahead and make a bar graph. So you're making a bar on each one here. The number of boys that read 0 books was 2. So you see that our 2 is in the light blue. The number of girls is also 2. Also notice that when we make a double bar graph, the bars are right next to each other. They should be connecting. And then there's a space until we go to the next number. So all of these things I'm going to be looking at when you create your own double bar graph. Do you have different colors? Do you have a key? Do you have a title? Are your axes labeled? So this is the books read. This is the frequency. Do you have the bars touching? Is there a space when it goes to the next category? Okay, so just taking a peek at these, this is what we're going to create today. Then we're also going to create a double line graph. So the only thing you need to write down on this slide is the definition right here. You do not need to write the chart or the graph here. So what is a double line graph? Well, a double line graph is used to show how 2 related sets of data change over time. So we're not comparing the data, we're looking at over a period of time. What is happening? What is happening from this year to that year, or from 1 month to another month? So we're talking about time. So let's just take a look at our examples. What's the data that we know, and then how do I make a double line graph? So here we have a chart here that says we want to estimate the number of CDs and DVDs sold in 2003. Now, CDs and DVDs, especially CDs, that seems like so old time, but yes, we did buy CDs a lot to listen to music, things like that. So here we have the music shop. We have what year. We have the number of CDs that were sold and the number of DVDs that were sold. All right, so we're comparing over a change of time. We're still going to make our X and Y axis. We're going to have our title on not only the top, but we're going to have our X and Y axis as well. So this is our Y axis. This is our X axis. Our time is going on the bottom here. So these are the 4 years that they were given that we're looking at our information. And notice how we counted up the y-axis. All of these numbers are pretty spread out, right? The smallest number is 735. The largest number is 5,804. So we're going to have to count by a number so that we can reach all of them. You notice that they went by thousands. You could go by hundreds, you can go by 2,000s, and then when you make your dot, it's going to be about, right? You're going to estimate a little bit where it goes. So this over here can change a little bit depending on what you choose to count by, but it has to be the same. So if I'm going to count by 1,000, every interval here should be by 1,000. Over on the right side, we are still dealing with colors, right? So using your highlighter, using your pen, I need a key. So the red dots are going to be for the CD. The purple dots are going to be for the DVD. All right, so then you can choose. I would probably do either all the CD first, then all the DVD instead of going back and forth, but it's up to you. You can decide. You can do the year 1998 first and then put the dots for 2000 and then connect them. You get to decide as long as you have all your dots where they need to be. So in 1998 for CDs, which is the red, we're at 3,002, and then 3,098, 4,685, and 5,804. And then you connect the dots with that color. And then you do the same thing for the DVDs. Okay, you put the dots, you connect it, and then you can compare visually, oh, what does that look like? Look at how much more CDs were sold in those years compared to DVDs, okay, over those 4 intervals of years there. So you're going to create not only the double line graph, but also the double bar graph. All right, so example 1, you do need to write this down. So go ahead and pause this and write down this chart, and then come back, and then we'll fill out our graph here. All right, so a real estate agent tracked the number of homes that were recently sold in each of the nearby cities that she served. I want to create a double bar graph with the data that she has tracked. So here we have what city? Briggs Corner, New Hamburg, and Pennytown. Then she tracked in 2006 how many homes were sold, and then in 2007. So on the bottom here, you will see that we put the cities, Briggs Corner, New Hamburg, Pennytown. And then on the left-hand side, here's our frequency. Now, one thing I want you to look at this little zigzag in our data here. I don't have a number until 60. So you notice that we're going to count by tens, and I didn't want to do 10, 20, 30, 40s, so I can actually skip, make a zigzag there. That tells me that I'm going to skip some time, and that's okay. Over here is our chart. All right, so 2000, 2007. You please pick a color for 2006, 2007. Put that in the key, and then you go ahead and fill this out. So go ahead and pause it now. Finish your bar graph, and then we're going to check it together and see if we have the same bar graph. All right, now take a look at my double bar graph. Yours should look something similar to this. We have all of our titles, so the number of homes sold, the number of homes sold between 2006 2007, right? There's lots of different titles you can create, but it does need a title. Over here, these are the number of homes that were sold. Down here are my cities, or city, right? So either way. And I have my key over here. The blue is 2006, the red is 2007. My bar graphs are touching, and I have space in between all of that. Okay, oops, sorry there. So this is what it should look like. If yours does not look like that, please go ahead and make it look like that now. All right, our next example, you're going to go ahead and write this one down. We're going to make a double line graph of the given data, and we're going to use this graph then to estimate the number of strawberries and figs that were grown in the year 2002. All right, so here we have Perry Strawberry Fig Farm sales. We have the year 1999, 2001, 2003, 2005. We have the number of strawberry baskets that were sold and the number of figs that were sold. All right, and we are going to create a double line graph. So using this information here, kind of a head start, we have our y-axis and our x-axis. On the bottom, here's our years. And again, if we kind of look over, looking at our data, there's lots of ways you could count, by 50s, by 100s. Here we're going to count by thousands. So go ahead and copy down this chart and start making a line plot. And I'm going to make mine, and then let's compare here. So go ahead and push pause. Make your information, get all this down, and then let's see what we have that is similar. All right, take a look at my double line graph, kind of see what yours looks like. I have the number of sold labeled on the side. I have our year at the bottom. I have our key over here letting me know what is my strawberry basket and what's my figs. I have my title, which was just the title of my chart, Perry's Strawberry Fig Farm Sales. And then I have my points, and I have connected them. Okay. So now if you don't have this, copy it down, write it down. And now we want to estimate for 2002. What is going to happen here? So to find the estimate, 2002 is between 2001 and 2003. So I'm just going to, ooh, yikes, sorry. I am just going to find the middle number between these two. So I'm going to add them together, divide by 2. I'm going to find the mean. I'm going to find the middle of those two to figure out our estimate. So go ahead and do that, and we'll check our answers. All right, my estimate for strawberry, I added 4,500 plus 8,000, and I divided by 2 to get my strawberry of 6,250. For the figs, I took the year 2001, which was 2,000, plus 3,500 divided by 2 to get 1,850. So the median is between that, and it's an estimate, so around that, right? Of what will be around those items. All right, your job now is to complete the assignment for 11.1 is a worksheet which is on Schoology. You are making double line graphs and double bar graphs. Feel free, I would highly recommend to go grab some graph paper and make sure that you are creating all of these information, so all the labels, all the keys, and you're connecting, you're using colors to create all of those things. All right, if you have any questions, let me know.